Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Copy Corner with Terry Schilling.
And Dan Marzullo.
Hello again. And so, Dan, I mean, the people watching this live watching on YouTube, Dan and I are pretty much wearing the same shirt right now. I guess we just telepathically, we just told each other to wear red and maroon today, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't call each other first and, what are you wearing or anything?
No. And he's got a Happy Friday sign in the background. We're recording this not on a Friday.
It is Monday.
Yeah, it is Monday. But everyone, we're really happy that you guys are joining another episode with Terry, with Terry, third person, with Dan and I today. We got an interesting topic. We've been talking a lot about content marketing and how to really build more traffic to your site, how to get started with the content strategy in some recent episodes. But today we're going to really add on to that. And so, Dan, tell everyone what we're going to be really discussing on today's episode.
Definitely. So we're kind of talking about executing your content strategy when you have no traffic, right? So I'm going to talk about blogging in particular. It's kind of one of those chicken and egg situations, right? Of well, we have no traffic, but we need to blog and practice SEO and all of that to get traffic. And so obviously that's a long-term game, right? It takes a while to build that up. So we're going to kind of talk about what you can do in the short term to spark that engagement and start growing that traffic. So with that said, Terry, I can kick it off here. So for blogging, one of the things that we always talk about doing that you can do in the beginning before you have any traffic is start giving people ways to engage with the post directly. So if you write a blog, tag some of the other sites or blogs or people that maybe you're talking about in that post that already have a big following, so you can kind of get their attention, drive them to that, and then kind of get exposure to their audiences that way, and that's going to kind of build your traffic. So that's kind of a simple tactic that I think a lot of people overlook. So, an example of the best way to do that is write a roundup post. So a blog that's like, top 10 tools for productivity or whatever it is. And in each of those tools, you're tagging that company or that person or brand to kind of get exposure to them, right? You're letting them know. So any other kind of like top 10 whatever or top whatever tips that you have posts, you can start by writing a lot of those to kind of get traffic from those individuals. And then of course too, when you share those posts on social, you could tag them again there. So just kind of get attention that way directly in the post. That's the best way to start when you have no traffic to a blog.
Yeah, great advice, Dan. And it's interesting, the tagging part is really huge. And I think don't overlook that of going on like LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and finding those tags. So, maybe they'll reshare it and you can bring some traffic. And for me, I want to touch on really some ways then that you can find these topics, these top 10 lists to discuss. And I really think it's just being part of a community, maybe following hashtags of like freelance copywriters, content marketing, freelance content writers on either Instagram, or Twitter, but then like research some topics, like go to Answer the Public and see what people are searching for, then go on Google and see what, articles and what people are writing and read comments, follow those people who are writing that. And then see what other people may be asking questions about for you to get some inspiration there. But then to build traffic, I think we talked about this on a past episode, but guest posting is a huge opportunity for you. Now, yes, a lot of it will be for free, but you're really building up some credibility. And like, let's say you're writing for, let's say Gary Vee has you write a blog on his website, or Marie Forleo. It's like having that name of like the author and having that backlink though to your site. If they click your name, or it's like you can find more about Terry Schilling at terryschillingwrites.com, having that backlink on somebody's big site is super helpful. But there's other obviously online publications that you can have too, where guest posting is going to be, again, build that credibility, but also help build traffic back to your site as well. And then honestly, Dan, really get into go on YouTube and do like some how-to videos, or just have them embedded on your website, and then transcribe them into blog posts. How-tos are just super effective. A lot of people are searching for how to achieve this, like how to write your about page in less than 2 days, something like that. Find out what people are looking for, what, questions, these people have, and like the answers they're looking for, and then create like some how-to videos on YouTube that drive traffic back to your blog site or your website in general.
Yeah, great advice, Terry. Yeah, it's a lot to it, but if you do all of these things, you're going to slowly see that number climb.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's tough when you don't see a lot of traffic. I've experienced this. I feel like I'm still experiencing this. Dan and I, like, we do a lot of these videos. We're slowly seeing, YouTube, views, and then even downloads for the podcast come up. But really, it's just consistency. And continuing to be active on the other platforms and sharing, valuable advice that people want to know. And I mean, it's paying off. You're slowly going to get eyes, and then you can just, reproduce content, or repurpose content all over the place, which we've done another Copy Corner episode on that. I feel like we'll link that in some of the posts that we have, and even in the description here, but definitely go to the YouTube channel for Copy Corner. You can find out how to get started with guest posting, and then even some tips on how to repurpose content as well.
Yeah, check both of those out along with this video and you'll be set.
Yeah, you'll be set. You'll have a killer content strategy. Even check out the last episode where we talk about how to get really started with a content strategy. So again, a lot of good advice here. But yeah, Dan, I think that's all we got for today. What we love about this is quick, like less than 10-minute episodes. I think that's why people are really vibing the Copy Corner podcast and the videos.
Right. Giving the tips and letting them run with it, actionable stuff.
Yeah, man. Actionable, practical tips. And then we'll get the hell out of the way. And if you have any questions, we're here for you, of course. Feel free to, ask us any questions. Follow us on LinkedIn. We're pretty active on there, on Facebook and on Twitter, Instagram. We're kind of all over the place, Dan and I. But yeah, Dan, anything else for today?
No, that's it, guys. Watch this video, watch those other few, and you'll have 1 million blog readers a month in no time.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this guy, the king of the promise, Dan Marzullo.
Yeah, over promise, under deliver.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Copy Corner. We have a blast as always. Be sure to download on Spotify, listen on Apple Podcasts, subscribe and review. We love seeing the high ratings and the reviews. And again, we'll read them on the show next time we get some. And as always, love what you do. Proceed with passion. We'll see you on the next episode of the Copy Corner.